Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm James Salvatore, and today I have something for you a little bit different than what I normally do. This here is a Kia Stinger. However, this isn't any normal Kia. This Kia will go 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds and has 365 horsepower. Now those are serious numbers for any car, let alone something like this. And today, I'm going to tell you everything about it. But before we get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe, as it'll help me out greatly to bring more content to you. And with that, let's get into the video. Starting off with performance, what really impresses me about the Stinger is all the technologies they included, as well as performance parts they included for around $54,000. To get any of this in your comparable BMW, Audi, or Mercedes, you're spending at least $70,000. So let's talk about a few of the technologies that Kia does include for this price point. With the top spec GT2 model, you can expect the Stinger to reach 0 to 60 in an impressive 4.7 seconds, producing 365 horsepower and 376 foot-pounds of torque out of a 3.3 liter twin turbocharged V6. So if the powertrain for this price point didn't seem like enough of a value, let's move on to the suspension and braking. So this car has an electronically controlled suspension system, as well as 4-piston Brembo brakes up front and 2-piston in the rear. Now, if you're a performance guy, you definitely know that this is an incredible value for this price point. Now, if we move on to the rear, another thing that I liked as well is Kia includes a limited slip differential as well as intelligent torque vectoring, which makes it a lot more fun to drive, a little bit more dynamic, especially if you want to slide around a little bit, which they claim you can, because this car, just like the Mercedes E-Class and the new BMW M5, has drift mode, where it unlocks the front axle from the rear so that you could still do burnouts and drift around and have a little bit of fun, which I think is really neat that they included this, because you don't get this really on any other car besides 2 other cars. Now that I've told you a little bit about the performance of this car, I'd like to show you how practical it is. So I'm 6'1", and I've set up the seat for me to fit in the car comfortably, right? I'm not sacrificing anything. Let's see how I fit behind myself in the back. So overall, I would say I'm pretty comfortable. However, headroom is a little bit sacrificed in the rear, seeing that they have this kind of swooping line going, this swooping coupe line going through the back of the car to make it look a little cooler. You definitely see it because I have this right next to my head. Legroom is okay. I'm not crunched. However, it would be nice to have a little bit more, but again, I'm a pretty tall person and I'm comfortably sitting behind myself, so it's definitely not bad. So moving on to rear storage, you'll see that this car is a hatchback, so it kind of provides you a nice wide open loading space. And that's important because a lot of people don't understand, even if your trunk is big, sometimes, especially with my car where the opening is small, it's hard to actually fit things into your trunk. And with a hatchback, you're not limited to that. So overall, I would say that's very practical, especially for day-to-day use. Overall, I would say the quality of the interior of the Stinger is pretty good. You get a nice top stitch dash, nice soft touch materials here, as well as an 8-inch nav and a nice accessory screen over here. The quality of leather around the steering wheel is nice to the touch. All the touch points of the car are covered in either a leatherette or a nice soft leather. And I think overall it's nice that they tried to compete with the German brands, especially when it comes to, having some nice aluminum trim with nice aluminum speaker grills, kind of similar to my car. So next, I just want to point out some of the driver's assistance features that the Stinger has. This car has lane keep assist, blind spot warning, a 360-degree camera, a heads-up display, and active cruise control. Now, these are features that are important in any car, but I really love that Kia included it, especially at this low price point. And I would say overall, that pretty much covers what I would like to talk about the inside. Let's go for a drive. So first impressions on driving the Stinger are pretty good. The steering is nice and light, although it has enough weight to kind of give you a sense of what's going on. The paddles are finished in a very nice material, and the steering wheel overall has a nice feel to it. I like that they have the flat bottom. You know, it just makes it feel sportier overall. Kind of feels like you're driving like something like a BMW, which is, I'm sure, what they were going for. In terms of, you know, how comfortable it is, the transmission isn't lurchy at all. It's very smooth and composed. Suspension's comfortable. Wow, this thing really gets up and goes. I'm very impressed with it. You know, for what you're getting here, this is a huge bargain. And if you're one of the people that simply just looks at the brand and says, you know, it's a Kia, you know, it can't be that good, you're really shorting yourself, because there's a lot this car has to offer that you wouldn't think a car for this price point would have. And Kia has done a good job at really trying to enter the luxury performance market with this car, I think, because it includes everything you really need overall. You have the technology with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have, you know, all your driver's assistance features, and then they give you the performance on top of it, which a lot of the German car manufacturers kind of short you on. If you want that V6, if you want that V8, you're spending upwards of $70,000 to $90,000. Whereas in this car, they're very straightforward with you. You want a nice car that performs, you want a car that feels luxurious inside, we'll give that to you. And on top of it, we'll give you a 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, 10-year powertrain warranty to go along with that, because we're so confident in our product. And that's a very bold statement from an auto manufacturer, because honestly, nobody in the business has that. You know, I've owned older Mercedes in the past, and once they're out of warranty, they're a nightmare. I had an SL 500 at one point that used to be $3,500 every 2 months to fix, because something would always be breaking. So really don't take that lightly, that you get a 10-year powertrain warranty, especially with a higher performance car where you have risk of parts breaking. That's huge. And that just, you know, speaks lengths to, you know, the effort Kia is going through to sell you their product and say, hey, give us a try too. And I think that you should. Before I end the video, I'd like to give a special shout out and thanks to Napoli Kia of Milford for making this video possible. Now, they sell a lot. They don't only sell Kia, they also have a indoor showroom with over 100 classic cars in it. So definitely go check them out. I'm gonna put a link in the description to their website. They have plenty of stuff to choose through. They have a lot of cool things, so be sure to check these guys out. And thank you for watching. Hope you all have a nice day.